welcome back. I hope that you're enjoying Poetry Month. We're going to do something a little bit different this week because we're not just going to look at a poem and then write our own. We're going to look at a painting and use the painting as inspiration for our poem this week. So I've selected the painting called The Scream by Edward Munch. Have any of you ever seen this painting? It shows a man screaming in the foreground, and in the background there's a blood red sky blazing behind him. I've seen it a lot. I really like it. Kind of creepy. So I wonder, what do you think about it? Do you want to write a poem based on this picture? Because you're gonna. So we're going to look at this painting and think about why the artist might have created it the way that he did. What about it makes him want to scream? Why maybe is it called The Scream? And then we're going to think about other big emotions that we have that could maybe be the inspiration for a poem that we're going to write on our own today. So we're going to look at The Scream from lots of different angles and then talk about the history behind it. And then you're going to create a self-portrait, so a picture of yourself based on this picture, and then write a poem about it as well. So just to get us started, I just wanted to do a little bit of a background on Edward Munch, the artist of The Scream. He was born in Norway on December 12th in 1863, and his mother and sister died when he was really young of a disease called tuberculosis, which is a disease in your lungs, and it really affected the rest of his life. At age 17, he was going to go to college, and he decided that he wanted to devote himself to art and to painting in particular. So he ended up not going to the engineering school that he had originally signed up for, and ended up going to the Oslo Academy, where he started to show his work and learned from some of the great Norwegian artists. Then he started to really experiment with different things. He did woodcuts and etchings and all kinds of other art in addition to his paintings, but his paintings are what really made him famous. And with most artists and people who create things, his art was all based on his life experiences, and he had kind of a sad life. He lost a lot of love in his life, and his mom and sister died when he was really young, and there was just a lot of tragedy in his life. A lot of sad things happened to him, so his art is a lot of times really dark and really sad, and it really affects people in that way because, it's about sad things. So that's kind of his background. The Scream in particular, again, this picture of a man screaming in the foreground, and it's all like fire in the background. The sky is all these like fiery colors, and they're really bright and crazy. Is attributed to some things, like people looked into it and wondered, like, why did he call it The Scream, and why does the sky look like it does? And according to the Science and Space magazine, astronomers say that during the time that Munch was creating this painting, a volcano was erupting on the island of Krakatoa in Indonesia. So that's in Asia. And this island was an active volcano, and it was just like blowing up like volcanoes do, and the volcano created these like really bright red and bright orange sunsets in Europe where Edward Munch was living. And they said that him and a friend were on a walk one day during like the height of all this color in the sky, and it really freaked them out. They were like, oh my goodness, this, like, the sky is on fire, what's happening? Like, that would be a really scary feeling, right? If you're going on a walk and you look up and you're like, the whole world is on fire. So he got really like worked up about it and decided that that was going to be the inspiration for his next painting, and he called it The Scream, because what else do you do when the sky is on fire except for scream? So that was at least what scientists say was the inspiration for his painting The Scream. So let's think about this. If I thought the sky was on fire, I would definitely scream. I'd be really freaked out by that. So that was something that made him scream. What are some things that like might make you scream? Think about them. Come up with a list. For me, I am really afraid of rodents. So if I saw even just a little mouse, I'd be on top of my kitchen table and I would definitely be screaming. I hate them. They really freak me out. Roller coasters? Who doesn't scream on a roller coaster? It's fun to scream on a roller coaster. Or thinking about my daughters getting hurt in some way really makes me want to scream. Feeling sad sometimes makes me want to scream. Just like the frustration bubbles out of me. Really spicy food makes me want to scream. The idea of drowning, that makes me definitely want to scream. Like that, not being able to breathe, oh, that's scary. Not knowing all the answers, I love to know everything. That would definitely make me want to scream. There's lots of things that make me feel scared or nervous, and those feelings make me want to scream. Things that make me kind of jumpy or itchy or whatever. So think about it. What scares you or amps you up or really gets you going and makes you just want to scream? That's what his painting was all about, so think about that. But our self portraits don't just have to be about screaming or about scary things. They could be about any big emotion, some big emotion that just comes out of you like a scream, right? So think about it. What's an emotion that you feel all the time, or something that if I had to say, what's an emotion that describes you, you could pick that emotion out for yourself. Things like maybe laughter or crying. Maybe you cry a lot all the time. Or maybe when you get really excited or you get whatever, you dance or you run or maybe you fight. What's something that when some big emotion happens, you react to it? How do you react? So think of your reaction that would describe you when you feel the biggest feelings. Then we're going to take that emotion and that feeling or that thought, and we're going to turn it into a self-portrait. So there is a template below. If you just click on the document, it'll pull it up, and this is what you're going to do this on. Or if you just have a blank piece of paper, you can cut the piece of paper in half and you can do it on that as well if you'd rather. So for the next part, we're going to take the painting, The Scream. We're going to look at that painting again and really think about it. And then you're going to turn it into a self-portrait, so a picture of yourself, how you see yourself in comparison to this painting. So you're going to pick one of the emotional reactions that you came up with that you really feel like that is your emotional reaction. Like you're a laugher, or you're a crier, or you're a runner, or maybe you're a screamer. You can stick with scream, that's okay. And that's going to be the title of your painting and your poem. So yours might be called The Laugh instead of The Scream, or The Cry instead of The Scream. So you get the gist. And at the top, that's what you're going to title it, right? And then on the right side of the page, you're going to draw yourself. And there's already the outline of the face that looks kind of like the screen, but now you have to fill in the features of the face. So if you chose the cry, then your face should have tears and it should be sad. And instead of your hands on your face like the scream, maybe your hands are on your eyes because you're wiping your tears, or your hands are clutching your heart, or whatever it is. Or maybe you chose the laugh, and so your face should be smiling. Maybe your mouth should be open and your head thrown back, and your arms could be up, or maybe your arms are holding your belly because you're laughing from your belly, or whatever it is. So you're going to turn that face into a whole body, and you're going to fill the face in to look like whatever emotion you decided to create, or you decided describes you the very best. And you're going to turn that into a picture of you feeling that emotion or sending that emotion out into the world. All right. Once you have your self-portrait done, so the person part of it, you're going to fill in the background. Because remember, Edward Munch's background was this bright red sky that was on fire, because that's what he was seeing that was making him want to scream. So you're going to fill your background in with maybe just one thing that makes you want to do whatever your emotion was. So if you chose cry, what's one thing that just makes you want to cry? And that's what you'll draw in the background. Or maybe you have lots of things that make you want to cry and you want to just draw lots of little things in the background. That's fine. Or again, if you chose laughter, what's the one thing that makes you just want to laugh the hardest? Or lots of little things that make you want to laugh. But your background should represent what makes you feel whatever the emotion is that you chose. So your person should look like a laugher or a crier or a runner or whatever it was. And then your background should be a representation of all the things that make you want to feel those things. All right? So once you have your portrait done, so the right side of your page is all colored and drawn and awesome, now think about all that stuff. And on the left side where there's the lines, write a poem about it. So you're going to write a poem all about like things that make me laugh, and you'll fill in that title, or things that make me cry, things that make me dance, whatever it is you chose. And then you'll write a poem down the left side of the page about all the things that make you feel the emotion that you drew your self-portrait about. I would love it if you took a picture of it and sent it to me, or you typed up your poem and you sent it to me in the comments, or you emailed it to me, because I totally want to see what you guys are coming up with. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Edward Munch and The Scream. I hope you like the picture. It's kind of creepy, but it's really neat, and I hope you come up with something beautiful to express what you look like when you're feeling your biggest feelings. Happy Poetry Month. Hope all is well.